Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another news video for today, the 2nd of July 2025. This then is in regards to the changes that are upcoming for the Forked Tower. The Forked Tower is a large-scale dungeon that you can do inside that of the Occult Crescent, which is the new field instance content added in 7.25 series. So obviously Yoshi P talked in the live letter, part 87, about the extensive sort of feedback they had on what people wanted in terms of queuing into the content, and they wanted the ability to queue in as a full alliance raid outside of the content and get into the same instance. That was one of the biggest things. So this then is a follow-up, and I'll read it for you. It says, "Hello, this is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. Firstly, I would like to thank the community for their supportive comments following the recent live letter. During the broadcast, I spoke about the additional systems we will be introducing in relation to the Forked Tower. We have since decided to implement a portion of these updates in advance. During an emergency maintenance on all worlds, please allow me to summarize the details and explain our reasoning behind this decision." So if you were in the dark, essentially they plan to change the way the queuing system works, and amongst other smaller things in the next patch. So in 7.3, a lot of people like myself said this is quite a lot to wait for. So it seems they're going to be doing stuff a lot sooner than that, which is really good to hear. And the sooner they get this stuff implemented, I think, the better the content will be, the less likelihood that it will die off, right? Because people are getting frustrated with it. So for planned changes, the following changes will be introduced as part of the emergency maintenance. Part 1, the ability to enter the Occult Crescent instance with a pre-formed alliance of up to 48 players. So that will be the first thing that will be available. That's really good news. Secondly, allowing auroral images to generate sooner after the Occult Crescent instance has loaded. So what that means, if you don't know, is that you need a particular weather condition to be able to enter the Forked Tower. So you've got your Sanguine Cipher, and you go to the little pavilion and you use that, and you have a chance to get pulled inside. But you can only do that in the Auroral Mirage's weather condition, if that makes sense. So that means that not only can you get in with your party, but you'll also have less time to wait to have a chance to get in to the actual Forked Tower and have it all set up, which means there's less downtime, less cancelled runs for Discord communities or whoever's making a community run. A lot better overall. Very cool. Intentions behind the changes then. As stated during the live letter, the update required to improve the Forked Tower experience would comprise several key elements, one of which is the ability to enter the Occult Crescent instance with a pre-formed alliance of up to 48 players, allowing auroral images to generate sooner after the Occult Crescent instance is loaded. And then there's 3, improvements to the Cipher offering UI, and 4, delaying auroral mirage generation until an active critical encounter is ended. And further down the line, after additional deliberation and discussion, we plan on further expanding the system with updates, such as number 5, enabling exclusive access to a Occult Crescent instance for a set time when joining with a preformed alliance. This means that essentially you are making your own instance for a limited time to prevent griefing, essentially, which is pretty cool. So they say, we believe these combined changes will function in unison to improve the Forked Tower experience. However, given the outsized impact of number 1, even in isolation, we have chosen to prioritize its implementation. Furthermore, to alleviate the issue of players waiting for prolonged periods to access the Forked Tower due to the time taken for an auroral mirage to generate after the Occult Crescent instance loads, we'll also be implementing number 2 in advance, which of course is that faster generation of the weather condition. The remaining changes listed above will be implemented in 7.3 as previously discussed, along with other minor adjustments and updates. Please accept my apologies for the delay. Quite honestly, you shouldn't apologize for this in the slightest. This is exactly what we wanted, and a lot sooner than we expected to get it. So a lot of people, including myself, are happy about this, Yoshi P. Risks associated with early implementation. At present, Yoshi P says fundamental implementation for 7.3 is complete, and we have entered the adjustment and refinement phase for graphical elements, systems, and battle mechanics. In parallel, we're proceeding with large-scale QA in preparation for release. To avoid significant impact on this schedule, we had initially planned to implement changes 1 and 2 in 7.3. However, when evaluating our development and QA capacity to release a potential emergency maintenance update, it became apparent we would be able to do so with minimal effect to our schedule. Rest assured that there will be no impact on the release of 7.3 as a result of this advanced update, which is good to hear, because sometimes when things take you push out more content, you push out changes, it does have a knock-on effect. But it's good to hear 7.3 will still be on target. That's good to hear. Yeah, so it says, it should be noted that the planned emergency maintenance update may introduce some technical issues. However, we determined that the benefits of implementing these changes in a timely manner outweighs the minor risks involved, and we'll do our utmost to ensure the update is released in a stable state. The current release schedule for that update is Thursday the 3rd of July, so tomorrow, and it says or as soon as possible thereafter, we will have access to this new form of queuing into Fort Tower. That's the first thing. You'll be able to queue as a 48-player group. And you will also have quicker Mirage's form, which means you'll be able to get into Fort Tower quicker. This is big, and I'm amazed how quickly this has come around. Yoshi P then finalizes with, although we are aiming for a July 3rd release, this may be pushed back should additional testing be required to ensure stability. Once the schedule has been confirmed, we will make a separate announcement via the Lodestone. We ask for your patience while we work on these improvements. Thank you for your continued support, Yoshi P. Yeah, honestly, this is a absolute W of a post. There isn't that many these days where you can go, that's conclusively just a better way of doing things. This is one of those, and I don't think anybody can really complain. Is it the most perfect way of queuing into something like the Fort Tower? No, I still believe that queuing directly into the Fort Tower is something that they should consider doing outside of the instance completely. It'd be nice if we have the ability to load up Party Finder within an instance so we can create groups that way. There are lots of things that probably could be done better about the entirety of the dungeon itself within an instance. It's like an instance within an instance, which is always going to be a complicated thing, and which is one of the reasons why Delibra and Regine, for the most part, was done outside of the actual field content, so that it was a lot easier to queue into directly from an NPC. That's something I hope that they look at and maybe address in the future. It's certainly something that I think they probably need to think about for the next piece of content, because remember, there is going to be another second field instance with a, another dungeon within that, supposedly, or associated with that, and this is the best possible opportunity that they have to think long and hard about what worked and what does not work about this content. And yeah, they need to learn from this experience. But for now, at the very least, this is a very positive change, and personally this will probably mean that I will actually be able to get my run in. I have yet to find the one of these groups that isn't full immediately, mostly because of these preconditions. It's quite difficult to get a run and get one that's gonna work, because a lot of the people that I've seen in communities, they set up a group and they try to do it and then they can't do it, and then they have to rearrange repeatedly because of this exact reason, be that because of not everyone getting into the same instance, or other RNG BS. So yeah, this is a good start, and in theory it should be available on tomorrow, July 3rd. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, the Fort Tower system, not perfect, but this is a good step towards making it better, at least, and at least we don't have to wait until 7.3 in August or something. So they've prioritized the important bits, so huge W in my opinion. Much love, thank you so much for watching. More videos on the way for patch 7.25 and onwards, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.